All right, welcome back to Poor Decisions, and I'm so excited to feature food business. And so we have Kwamena and Natasha with Micah Specialty Foods, and I have tried the foods, the sauces, and they are delicious. So I was so excited, to be able to have you guys on to tell your story. And so what, why food? Why did you guys want to get into the food business? Because you love making food, or
Yeah. So it all started with Ghana Supreme Sauce.
okay,
I was in Hiram College. I
this
missed
one.
my mother's, yes, missed my mother's home cooking, felt very homesick.
Okay.
And then there was a entrepreneurship immersion week, which was held in Ashland University in, I believe it was August of 2011. I was a freshman at the time going into my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And we had was on the Hiram College team. We were going up against Case Western, Lake Erie College, Baldwin Wallace, and a bunch of schools. And we had to come up with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we're brainstorming and couldn't come up with anything. And I said, hey, well, my mother makes this delicious sauce that you can put on everything that makes cooking much easier and faster for easy meal prep.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it as a marinade. You can use it as a dipping sauce. You can use it to saute vegetables. You can use it almost like a marinara sauce because of the tomato base.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got into food.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so from college, you knew that you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And was your family entrepreneurs at all, or?
No, I came from a different background.
Okay. Okay.
So, when I went to Hiram, I studied communication and sociology. So, but we became a couple while we were students at Hiram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My undergrad was in communications also.
Oh, really?
Yes. Kindred spirits.
Yes.
And then was your family, like, were they entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So my well, both sides are entrepreneurial. My dad owns Afro Dynamo. There's like an office furniture business. So they make office furniture in Ghana. Their picture framing business. He has a music school. He's done like a medical diagnostic business. My dad is what you call a serial entrepreneur.
Yes. Yes.
So I always wanted to take after his footsteps. He also practiced law, so he was hustling and doing everything. And so my dad was my first role model. I wanted to follow his footsteps.
Okay.
At the time, I was thinking practicing law and doing business as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go the law route. I left that to my sister, so she's a lawyer now. And I took the entrepreneurial stuff. So we split we split the G's into half, and that's how it happened. And my mother is a consultant, and
Okay.
she worked as a banker, but she's not a full-time consultant. She runs her consulting business. So I had enough examples,
Right.
and then I was exposed to it at a very young age.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like putting price tags on like stuff in the store and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it starts, and then you get this idea, as you go on in life, and then you're like, yeah, I can do this. I saw my parents do it. I can do it too. So you're at Hiram. There's you come up with the idea for the sauce. So did you reach out to your mom and say, hey, I need your sauce recipe?
Yes. I told my mom, hey, I need to perfect this recipe. We just pitched it. And the pitch competition, we didn't win, and we had to pretty much go off information online and resources and stuff like that. But I want the real recipe, so show me how to make it. And so she taught me how to make it, practice perfecting the recipe using my friend's dorm. He had like a little townhouse, or whatever.
Because you needed a kitchen,
Yeah. Kitchen. Living in an actual dorm, I didn't have a kitchen space to use, so I borrowed his space and then used it, and eventually started producing small batches. Eventually found a co-packer or a manufacturer, and then the rest is history.
Oh, wow. So, okay, let's go through the whole, like, finding the co-packer, because that, to me, from talking to other people that are in the food industry, like, that's one of the most difficult aspects of it, finding someone that you trust and that will, actually make your recipe the way you want them to. And how did you find a co-packer, and what part of the process, like, were you at when you were like, we need a co-packer? Because you were making it just out of the kitchen for a
At the
while?
kitchen,
Yeah.
So it was pretty much at the idea stage, the recipe stage, making small samples on Super Bowl weekend. I remember like
Yes.
passing out samples around Super Bowl weekend and stuff for people
Yep.
to taste with tortilla chips.
Yeah,
Just
giving out surveys.
Exactly, giving out
Oh,
service.
really?
Survey on campus.
Just to see if they wanted hotter or
Yes.
restaurants.
So you were using the students at Hiram as your
Yes.
like to provide you with the intel as to
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you just would you like you would give out samples to the students at Hiram?
Yeah. Well, mostly like within my friend circle, yeah. But for
Okay.
for the surveys, we collected it. There was something we called the intercultural forum, where with the various international students from various countries, including the United States, and there was a time of year where it was usually in February where we would prepare your national dish,
Okay.
wear your national clothes.
Oh.
You get to perform at a cultural dance or to share with the Hiram community.
Right.
And that was my opportunity to make dishes using our sauce and then collect the data and see what people,
Whose idea was the survey? Was it yours?
No.
No?
Yes. I just was there to help.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So my major was actually, I was a business major. I had a minor in entrepreneurship. So, kind of like just learning from business classes, like importance of surveys. You take statistics, you take business courses, so you understand the usefulness of data. And I was basically trying to apply what I'd learned from the classroom and
into real practice.
real black practice. Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting the surveys, and were people telling you things that you didn't already know, or were you kind of like, we kind of figured that people might want it a little bit more hot or something like that?
We did get some initial feedback, but we were, just trying to collect as much data as possible, because sometimes you get feedback from your friends, and it's only a small sample size. So we were just trying to get feedback from people who had no skin in the game, as you should say, didn't know us personally, and they could give us honest feedback.
Right.
That was the real goal and objective. Yeah.
Okay. And so you got the feedback, and then you kept like tweaking the recipe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we eventually started tweaking it some more when we went to the Cleveland Culinary Launch Kitchen. So in downtown Cleveland. So that's when we ended up having like R&D samples. And we keep tweaking it until the manufacturer got it right. So
okay. And when you started in the culinary kitchen in downtown Cleveland, were you already like producing it just on your own, like bottling it on your own, or did you have the co-packer at that time?
Well, we were bottling on our own, but in small batches. So we were testing it out at that point.
Okay.
So that was how we really started the production phase, and we realized we were gonna need or use a co-packer because it takes time to be in the kitchen. You might spend an entire Saturday and Sunday.
I bet.
Late hours and stuff like that. So it wasn't going to be feasible. We were focused more on getting the right recipe that tasted right, and then being able to sell it at scale. That was what our objective was.
So how long would you be in the kitchen, like making and bottling?
Well, at the time, maybe about 2-3 hours. Not a whole lot of time, because we were, like I said, doing it in small batches.
Okay.
So the samples that we did make were going to be given to like friends or people anyway. So it wasn't necessarily stuff we were planning on selling initially.
Okay. Yeah. And how many bottles would you make? Like what's considered small batch?
Oh, I mean, small batch could be 20 jars or as low as 10 jars or as low as 5 jars that we wanted to give to certain people.
Okay.
I used to do what you would call network marketing. I don't want to mention any brands, but we would have our meetings, and then I would take some jars to the network marketing event, and then I would, pass out samples at the time. Actually, network marketing was actually one of my early tastes of entrepreneurship, or, trying something on my own at the time. So I that was also how I collected data and sort of like started building a base of customers.
Okay. So you would get feedback from that also, like they would
I did.
They would give you, oh, nice. Okay. So then So how did you find the co-packer? How
So
did
it
that
was through a
happen?
referral. There was a Hiram alum who used this co-packer
Mm.
and in Gale based in Illinois. And so it was just through a referral. While working on the idea pitch competition back in well, when we went to Ashland University, was like, hey, well, I'll introduce you to somebody who's in this business,
Mm-hmm.
get some
That could help.
feedback from
Yeah.
him on this idea, and
Yeah.
let's see what his feedback produces. So that was how we heard about this co-packer. So it was a contact that we had. We weren't sure if we're going to use them anyway, but we wanted to at least, see what was out there. And they were capable of making small batches because one thing about
Mm-hmm.
co-packers, which I'm sure your audience will love to know, is that you need to find somebody that can produce the quantity that you can afford. If you're a startup, you don't need to use a co-packer that would require a minimum of 50,000 bottles.
Oh,
And it's like
right.
you have no
Yes.
you have no customer base, you have no retail stores, you have no one pretty much to sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who am I
And
supposed to who am I
yeah,
supposed to sell 50,000
yeah,
to?
exactly.
Okay.
So the one you pick has to be the right fit,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily they had minimums. Of course, when you're a startup, no matter how low the minimums are, it's still going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But at least we had something that was doable.
Yes. Okay.
That fit our needs.
So doing like shopping around, I guess, in terms of finding the co-packer that works with you is important because
Yeah.
they're not all the same.
No,
They all have different requirements.
yeah, far from that, yeah.
I'm sure you've had numerous of experiences with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Do they require money up front? The co-packers?
Yeah, especially when you are like a new startup, you have to build some credibility.
Yeah.
So many of them will do like at least some may do half upfront,
Okay.
or they may require the full payment upfront, and maybe after one or two orders, and when you have when business is operating and you have some customers and stuff, then they could decide they could do like 30-day terms and stuff like that.
Yeah, but sometimes I think with our experience, some of the co-packers weren't too sure if they want to take on our sauce. So we did get like a few maybe it was on
Yeah.
yours, but yeah, we eventually got the right
The right
one.
one, yeah. Also, I think it's important that co-packer has to be honest about if they can really produce your product. Like if you know you don't have the capabilities of producing a certain recipe at scale, then there's no need to even try it. You could refer them to somebody who can, but if a co-packer is willing to take on something they know they cannot do, that's a red flag. That's the first red flag they need to look out for.
Yeah.
And they need to provide you with honest feedback.
Yeah. And how would you know until after you've paid them and they've ran the cycle with your products?
Yeah. So with our sauce, what we did was first of all, we did the recipe. Of course, they had to sign an NDA. They created the NDA. In hindsight, we should have created our own NDA. It hasn't harmed us, but it's also important for your lawyer to create an NDA. But they provided an NDA.
Yes. So they
provided the NDA.
Oh.
And then you signed the NDA. And as college kids, you don't know any better. But now with all the experience that we have, But the main thing was, they have to show proof of product. So they will have to use your recipe and make a very small batch, which is not supposed to be sold, by the way, just for you to say, are you satisfied with this taste?
Okay.
The spicy, as an example, or the mild or the medium. And if they are able to show proof that it's spice, and if you provide feedback and say, I'm satisfied with this taste, then you can authorize them to produce at
more. Okay.
At scale.
So will they do just like one bottle for you to taste?
Well, they
as
would
a sample.
It's a tabletop amount, so it can be 10 jars.
Okay.
It can be 5 jars, but sometimes it just has to be enough for you to taste to provide feedback.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to provide it to your whole family or friends.
But enough that you can.
Enough that you can,
have a number of people give some feedback to make sure that this is right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, so I don't think I asked, how did you come up with the name Micah Specialty Foods?
Oh, Micah.
Where's
So Micah, my last name is Techi Micah. So Micah is part of my last
Part of
name,
it. Okay.
and Specialty Foods because we are creating delicious and authentic African food products. So that's how Micah Specialty Foods came about.
Okay.
Mhm.
And have you sent your mom the bottles? Like, does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she knows well
My mom-
about it.
Mom is our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so she was like, you did my recipe good. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
She helped us finance it. She helped us in the early stages, you know.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, so you're going along with the co-packer, and the first one that you picked, is that the one that you have stayed with, or have you gone through a few different ones?
Well, we have we pretty much stick to the one that we
Okay.
because of their volume. We did look at other options, but the ones we use it fits what we are doing now. So you know, and we're not going to obviously be tied. You can't be tied to a single one, because what if they close down? You should
Right.
have
Yeah.
other options in place. So if something happened, you could pivot.
Yeah.
So we have some contacts and people that we have a relationship with. But yes, we have used the same one throughout the entirety of
Okay.
running the business.
Okay. And I know one of the things, just because my husband and I, we had a wine company, and like picking the labels, picking the bottle, that's all something did you do that with the co-packer, or did you do that, had you guys already established that ahead of
You wanna
time?
take that?
Yeah, so we
Design.
actually had someone to design it. So somebody else that wasn't the co-packer.
Okay.
And the original actual design was way different than it is now. Like, it used to be like just a jalapeno pepper
Okay.
in the front, and it looks like a mascot. And so that was just the original like design, which was just one flavor back then. So eventually, as we were growing, we decided to branch out into different flavors. And then through your friend, he designed different designs. So
Designs,
this is
okay.
one of them. So
Oh, okay. So this is much more entailed than just a jalapeno pepper.
right.
Yeah.
So we had the Adikwa symbol in the front that shows like the Ghanaian culture. Like
Oh, okay.
That's
So
right, yeah.
yes. So tell me more about this. So that's
The Dinkrak symbol, which is like it looks like a rum's horns. And
Yeah.
it symbolizes strength, a haunting. So it's basically the traditional writing of the Akan ethnic group of Ghana.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you could see a giraffe here, so it's like
Yes. Yes.
in around your tree, so it's like the goods and stuff like that. So and in the background you can see jollof rice here.
Yes.
And then chicken on the side.
Yes.
So you have to like take a close look.
yeah.
Our product is gluten-free, vegan, all natural ingredients,
And then
yeah.
okay, so what are the different like sauces
Yeah,
or
so we have a mild, medium, and spicy.
okay.
And then for our non-alcoholic drinks over here, we have a mojito and pina colada.
Yes.
So,
So the pina colada mocktail and
mojito mocktail.
Mocktail. Okay. So you started with the sauces. How did you get into doing mocktails?
So,
What prompted that?
Yeah, so it happened by, I guess you could say by chance. I always wanted to, launch a drink at some point,
Okay.
like a traditional Ghanaian drink. And I was brainstorming and thinking about ways in which I could do that. But I came across a venture capitalist who introduced me to somebody in my space, just to network with an entrepreneur who understands the like my industry, and learn about what their struggles were, and share about my story and what my challenges were, and so on and so forth, and how they navigated through it. And he happened to be pretty much somebody in my space who was making drinks, but during the pandemic started making drinks for people and creating recipes for people
Okay.
based in the UK.
Okay.
And then he said, well, I don't just want to do this particular Ghanaian drink or West African drink that you enjoy. I can also do pina colada. I can do mojito. I can do all these flavors. And that's how the drink started.
It's so important as business owners to have like a team, and you know, with your venture capitalist, that he was part of your team or she was part of your team, and introduced you to someone else. That's I mean, that's what this is all about, like connecting. So that's so cool. So do you have any other new products that you think are you thinking about introducing anything new or on the horizon, or?
Well, new the horizon will surprise our customers, but we definitely want to obviously expand the drink line and just grow. I think now we're really focusing on getting into more retail, selling our products, reaching new customers in various regions and various parts of the world.
Okay.
So that's what our focus on. So we put a pause on just like creating new products per se, but we definitely still want to obviously, you know, expand what we have in terms of getting it into new retail.
Yes.
locations.
Yeah.
So we still on our website. So if there are people that's overseas, we can ship it to them with no issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're in like all of the stores around.
So Meyer, select Meyer locations. We're in Heinen's, all the Heinen's locations. We're in Market District, Janigo Market District. We're in Dave's Supermarket, Lucky's Market, Rigo's Brothers, Lake Road Market, stuff like that, you know.
Okay.
These types of retail stores.
And I'm sure that was a process with each store to get into. I'm sure like applying, interviewing, sampling, you know, and then did you have to do like a certain amount of like kind of like probationary time where they put you on the shelf to see if how you sell and
Yeah, velocity is like the most important thing in our industry, so you have to sell as quickly as possible, and you have to sell in volume. So there was definitely a like a probational period. We also had to, you know, be active, go into the store, do demos, interact with customers. You met us at the at the Garlic Festival last August. So we do big events like that. So we expose the brand. People know who we are, and we spread, you know, the gospel of our products.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. So I know you talked about the NDA. So were there any is that like the biggest, I guess, legal aspect or thing that you guys had to deal with was the NDA from the co-packer?
Yeah. And also establishing a production agreement is what we should have what you need to do. I mean, you have to make sure that if they have you provide a list of ingredients you want, you provide the process, the recipe, and so on and so forth. The co-packer will have to sign agreeing to produce what you ask for, because what if they make you are paying them to say create a delicious sauce from your country of Ghana, and then they literally create something that tastes like Heinz ketchup. You know, your customers are going to taste it.
This is totally different.
This is totally different. Like, but it's like, and they could literally say, well, we made what you told us to make, and it's and that would definitely be a red flag. For co-packers who do things like that, and such co-packers wouldn't last. But
no.
Yeah, but you know, so anybody going into this industry definitely has to talk to a lawyer like Sharice.
I highly recommend that.
You know, or a good lawyer who understands this industry, who can at least prepare a solid production agreement and a solid NDA. Those two documents.
So important for your business.
Yeah, and believe me, it may intimidate or scare off a few co-packers. I think we've experienced already preventing a solid NDA and a production agreement. when you bring that up, it's like you might scare some people away, and if it scares them off, then they're not the right ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
always look out for the red flags.
Yes. Well, it's a good thing that, you learned those lessons early because, if you don't have the right contracts agreements in place, then, they're in place for when things go wrong. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but when it does, you're like, we have an agreement and these were the terms. And so then you're able to really enforce things.
Yeah.
Man. So I'm glad you guys did that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So how about was there a poor decision at all that you made during the course of the business that you were able to navigate through and
This poor decision definitely is emotional, but I'm happy to share so your viewers can learn from it. So basically, with the drinks, as I mentioned, we had connected with somebody in the UK, came up with a recipe. We realized that shipping wasn't gonna be feasible because it was gonna cost a lot of money, and then now with the tariffs. Months later, we discovered that there were tariffs going to be in place, so it was going to make international business very difficult.
Okay.
So we saw an ad on Instagram, clicked on it, reached out to the people. Obviously we went in for the NDA. They said, "Oh, well, I'll give you our NDA," whatever the case may be. And for one of the flavors, actually all the flavors I so to say, but one flavor in particular was so off that it was so insane.
Oh no.
The color that it was clear. It's supposed
it
to
was
be purple.
something. Imagine having
Oh no.
a hibiscus drink and then it's clear, and all they had to do was to study our process, provide a quote for us, let us know if you can do it based on, and let's get through it. Instead, these folks were they create you an invoice. I mean, an invoice off what? It's like they literally will just create an invoice for you. And they created an invoice for us. No true response on whether they could produce our product. I'm like, wait a minute, like what's going on? We need proof, like I mentioned earlier in the conversation. So give us a small batch of samples.
Right.
And then they said, well, if you want to do that, then it's $5,000 per flavor. I'm like, but we already
it's for a small batch.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, but we already paid somebody to do our flavors. So can you make can you make at least do a small batch or something for us like we did with the sauces? And it was like the answer was no, and that was the first red flag that I should have responded differently to, because sometimes when you want to launch a product, you're so excited.
Yes,
but
for sure.
And also for drinks, you want to launch. The perfect time to launch a drink is by the spring, so it's ready for summer. When it's warm and it's hot and people are out and there are a whole bunch of events, you can sell it. But in this industry, it's better to move slow when it comes to producing than move fast and crash and burn. And so eventually after 8, 9, 10 weeks, the product wasn't what we had agreed on. They didn't follow any of our directions. They argued, they lied about it, they were rude about it. There wasn't enough proof because it's like you're communicating with one person who was obviously very incompetent, very inefficient, and also a liar. And then another red flag was, you have to ship a product from point A to point B, being told that don't use this shipper because we're on a blacklist. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So even on the shipping side, you are essentially shady.
Yes.
You are essentially shady. That's a huge red flag.
Yes.
And so all these lessons, we should realize we should have probably moved a lot, kept looking for the right fit.
Yeah.
And it would have been better to find the right fit as opposed to rushing into one because you think you found one, and so I see a few red flags and I would work around it.
Yes.
And and so what we do is we pivot. If you have a product that you're not happy with the way it tastes, um, of course we had to take out the third flavor, but for these two, um, we we basically create recipes where customers can mix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you can mix it with, so for example, the mojito, you can mix it with the strawberry and extra mint. You can add like a little bit of like simple syrup to sweeten it up. One of our customers, she actually mixed the mojito with blueberries,
Oh,
and it looked really good.
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
can sweeten it up. And if you drink alcohol, you can mix rum, you could do vodka,
Yeah.
and if you want to balance the sweetness. But it's really it's still a very good product for I mean, people who are low on sugar and who want to watch their sugar, and we use natural cane sugars. It's also packed in antioxidants.
Nice.
So it powers your day and you can enjoy it. And that's how you pivot. You have to, I mean,
Yep.
you've already spent $15,000 on product, so you need to pivot, sell it, find the right co-packer,
Right.
and then
Figure out something to do with it.
keep it,
Yeah.
and then
definitely.
and then keep it moving, and that's what we had to do.
Yeah.
And of course the product that was off for the hibiscus drink that we were preparing. I mean, obviously we have to find a way to sell it.
Yes.
At a even if it's at cost, just to still recoup.
Right,
some
to
of
recoup
what we-
your
yeah, to get it in there. So these are some of the key lessons that we learned.
But those are good lessons.
Yeah,
And I mean to be able to move on from it.
Yeah.
Because some people will get stuck and then just say, oh my gosh, you know what, I'm not even going to keep doing this because this is, all this money that I've invested and it didn't work out. But the fact that you guys said, nope, we're going to pivot, figure out something else and still keep going, that's really a testament to
absolutely.
resilience and creativity and just
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are our key lessons, and people need to avoid shady co-packers. If people
Avoid
are
them.
if people are asking for an invoice without understanding your recipe or your process or what you want, and they are sending an invoice, you should probably avoid them with the plague, because there are a lot of shady people out there.
Look at other
And,
options.
Look at other options, or wait. Don't let your customers pressure you into giving you like a release date. Don't feel pressured by release. We were trying to beat the August 2025 release date, which we did. At least the good side of it, when you look at it depends on whether you look at the glass half empty or half full. I mean, at least we did release a product. We did launch a product, and we shared proof that we grew the business. We even raised some capital. However, be careful of shady co-packers.
Yes.
And take your time. And even if you need 2 years to find the right people to partner with, you are not going to regret it. You thank me later.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Yeah, and get your NDA and your production agreement from a lawyer.
Right. Yes. Yeah. One last thing too. So how was the process of raising capital? Because that's a big thing to be able to do. I mean, because a lot of people they're constantly pitching and are not able to raise capital.
Yeah. Well, the process of raising capital, first of all, you should have good credit. It's important to have proof of business, some revenue. I mean, hopefully have some product and some show proof of concept. We got a loan from HFLA. Shout out to HFLA, Hebrew Free Loan Association. They provide interest-free loans. And then we later on got a loan from ECDI.
Okay.
So we haven't done any investment sort of fundraising. We've done crowdfunding in the past. We've done
that was the early stages.
In the early stages of the sauce. We did
Yeah.
crowdfunding in the past. But we have not done any we've not done any, like I said, investment, but we've done, just raising money and grinding out to
And pitch
pay and pitch
competitions.
competitions.
That's
as
how
well.
we, so when we win money from that,
Yeah.
go straight
Any
into
grant
the
available, we
business.
sign up for. Any pitch competition, we sign up for.
That's awesome.
And we usually win. So
Yes.
we've been very blessed and fortunate to be winning constantly.
And what year were you guys in Hiram that this idea started?
So the idea started in 2011. I graduated in 2014.
Okay. 2011. So then, you guys have been doing this for a while.
Yes.
We've overcome all the challenges. Business has its ups and downs. We launched our first rendition of Ghana Supreme Sauce in 2014. Business actually took off during the pandemic in 2020. It was 2021 that we got into Market District, Jadigo Market District. And 2022 was when we took off. On my vision board, and I revisited an old vision board in 2017 that said I wanted to be in at least 3 retail chains. That prayer wasn't answered till I think 2021, it must have been 2022. 5 years later, after I had set a goal to achieve something on my vision board, it came to pass in 2022. And then, now we're in all these retail locations, Meyer, Heinings, Dave's, and stuff like that. So
just keep going.
Keep going.
Yes. Keep going to the farmers markets too, because that's where we started.
That's
at
where
the
we
farmers
started.
market.
Yeah.
So we have some loyal customers.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the reality is that there are very few, if any, businesses that just like blossom overnight.
Right.
And it is just that consistency and kind of like switching gears and, revamping ideas and changing labels or changing concepts. And then once you hit that stride, then you're like, oh, okay. But a lot of times those learning lessons that we had earlier, we needed those to be able to, so now where you are, you're like, oh yeah, we know about this because we learned it earlier when we were, when we were selling less product. And that's a better time to learn it because
Yeah.
Imagine we were in like the thick of the production and we made the 3 different flavors and we invested so much money. It would have been a big waste.
Yeah. Exactly. So we learned our lesson. I think it's how you respond to adversity.
Yes.
My wife has been very supportive and also working in the business. She's helped me cope through those obstacles. So it's good to have a good partner who supports you.
Absolutely.
In the various challenges. I think it's also I think as men we get excited and overzealous, and sometimes we don't see the red flags, or we're in a hurry to I think it's actually dangerous. Although we should work in a sense of urgency, you should also be patient and make sure that you're applying all the applying wisdom, looking at the red flags, taking your time through these things to avoid some of these pitfalls. So we've learned, and we're moving forward, and we would grow even more and be bigger and greater than we already.
You guys will. You absolutely will.
Yes.
And I can't wait to continue to see the growth and all with you guys.
Yes.
Well, let's cheers to all of the success and everything that you guys have done so far. I know we're gonna be pouring wine and water to toast.
Tea.
Yes. Right.
Water. My Ghanaian accent, we say water.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so cheers to Micah Specialty Foods.
Cheers.